Well, how's it going, friends and family? My name is Amos, and I wanted to talk to you today about a topic that's it almost seems like common sense, but it's really not. And it's this. Sometimes in life, you make the correct choice, the right decision, and it ends up hurting. It stings. It's painful. And I say that because I think most of us, we have expectations, which leads to disappointment, but that's for a topic of its own. Most of us, we think that when we make that difficult choice that we know is good for us, that right decision, it comes with like instant clarity, peace, or happiness, but that's almost never the case. But when you make the right decision, it usually is accompanied with grief, doubt, like, did I do the right thing? And regret. And that's completely normal. I just want to say it one more time. That's completely normal to feel that way. When you do the right decision for you and your life, it's almost always going to be followed by negative emotions because whatever that thing is that you got rid of or you walked away from, it wasn't good for you. And when something's not good for you, we develop a very unhealthy relationship as if we depend on it. I'll give you some examples. Let's say you're the type of person that goes to EDM festivals, raves, you drink, you put substances into your body. You want to stop because you notice that every single time that you do those events or put those substances into your body, negative events unfold. Or you do stuff where you're like, dude, what was I thinking? Right? If you stop cold turkey, do you think your body's going to be like, hooray? No. When you start swiping and scrolling on social media and you see people engaging in those activities that you used to partake in, it's going to be painful. It's going to suck. That sense of like FOMO, the fear of missing out, like, oh my gosh, I should have just gone, right? But in the long run, it's probably the best choice for you to not go to that stuff anymore. It's okay to listen to the music while you work out, while you go running, but you don't necessarily have to get half naked and go to the festivals, right? And another one, I feel like this is a chapter in almost everyone's book of life where once you go through it, it changes you fundamentally. Like you'll never be the same person ever again. Once you experience the loss of someone that truly loves you or loved you, you'll never be the same. And it's this making the very hard decision to put down your dog, especially if they're struggling and just breathing and living. The quality of life is just horrific, right? And it's painful to exist. Putting them down, it's really it's really a challenge. And I pause because I personally lost my childhood dog while I was a cadet at VMI, and I still remember it very vividly. I was taking my final exams for the fall semester, and I found out that, he was no more. Dude, I broke down. And I'm not the kind of guy that used to cry a lot back in the day, but dude, I bawled for like 2 days straight. My roommates can probably confirm this story. Dude, I was just broken. Because putting down your dog, it's such a like it's the right thing to do, but you almost always second guess yourself, like, was it the right thing though? And it sucks. Like nobody likes it unless you're a straight up psychopath that puts pineapple on your pizza, right? It's a crappy situation for anybody to go through, but at the end of the day, it's a lot better than forcing your 19-year-old golden retriever named Rocky to live just for your own sake. Like, if you know they're in pain and it's excruciating just so you can feel like, oh, they're still alive, like, I would hesitate, pause, and reflect on whether or not that's the best decision. I'm not telling you to put down your dog ASAP, and I'm just saying sometimes you have to really take into consideration the quality of life because there's a clear difference between living and existing. putting a beta fish into a water bottle for 3 to 5 years versus giving them, I don't know, like a 5, 10, 20 gallon tank to thrive in a planted aquarium. Difference between living and existing. A lot of people can exist in the most extreme situations, right? In a tiny little box or in pain. But are they truly thriving and living? That's a different conversation of its own. Another example I can give you is a hard decision that we almost always second guess ourselves on is quitting your current job or leaving a career altogether, right? Especially if for the longest time, like, in the back of your mind, this is what I have to do. I have to leave because you feel stuck, or your progression is not going where it's going, or you just have a reputation that's not the greatest. Like, you are constantly being monitored. At the end of the year performance review, your supervisor's like, hey, we need to change some stuff. Here are the steps we're going to take. Like, if you know you're one of the bottom performers, sometimes jumping ship might be the best for you, your mental health, to jumpstart your career again. A clean blank slate at a new workplace, sometimes that's all we need to feel the passion in our career fields again. I think being resilient and sticking it out in a place where you're not appreciated, sometimes that's doing a disservice to yourself and your earning potential. Because if you're not appreciated in your current place because of whatever happened, can you truly say that you're happy with your job? Whereas if you just jump on ship to the next, like if you work for Chevron and you jump on ship to Exxon Mobil, of course it's your rival and competitor, and now you're thriving and you're happy, right? It's like, why not? Why not? And not to mention, sometimes, taking a break after going gung ho for years at the exact same workplace, it can be super healthy. Because sometimes taking a work sabbatical for like 2 weeks or 3 months or even 6 months, you start to redefine what your purpose is and whether or not, if this is something you want to do, whether or not you want to go back to school, learn a new trade, jump into a new field. But I digress. Quitting that job, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be like, dude, what the heck did I just do? But once you pivot on into a new career field and you feel good again, you'll look back and be like, dude, that's the best thing that I ever did. Another example. Now, this one might hit close to home for some of us, leaving your partner or spouse, especially if you know that it's over and it's been over for a while, but you're both just trying to flush it out. Like, maybe we can make it work, but there's nonstop shouting, yelling, arguments, tears, day after day. And it's not a household that's fit for a healthy family. It's the difficult decision, but it might be the right decision to leave them. Especially if you know nothing's working. If you've tried therapy, couples counseling, and it's still no bueno, what makes you think anything is going to change? Right? And I'm not trying to be like a fear mongerer, but like, if it's been like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, sometimes people just get stuck in their old ways and it's over. And I think accepting that phrase right there, it's over, it's hard. I understand. It's super hard because like you start thinking about the good times when we first met, our first dates, wedding vows and all that, but you also have to marinate that with a balanced approach at the bad times as well, right? And I think that can help you to make the difficult decision the right choice of like, dang, dude, this is destroying me. I don't even remember who I am anymore because of this relationship. Like, if you're coming to that point, I'm not trying to tell people to break up, right? I'm just saying, like, if you're going through a difficult time day after day, you have to ask yourself, is it because of me or is it because of my relationship, right? And if your relationship is not building you up, encouraging you to be a better person, and is not bringing out the best in you, gosh, I sound like a guy who's out to just, who wants to see the world burn, but that's not it. I'm just saying that there's life on the other side of a breakup. That you might be like, dude, I'm 40 years old. I gave him the best 12 years of my life, and I feel like it was a waste of time. I'm gonna stick it out, have kids. But do you really want to have kids with someone that you can't even see being a father figure, right? Like you got to really think about that. So I don't know. Even at 40, dude, I still think you'll be young. Even at 50, all right, you might be in that menopause territory, but hey, adoption is always there, and you don't even need kids to have a fulfilling life, right? As long as you find someone that loves you and you find fulfillment in each other. Like I wish that upon everyone, right? Whether it's with someone or with yourself, if you can find fulfillment loving yourself and being comfortable in your own company, going out to Chipotle, downing an entire burrito by yourself and just being happy, like I wish that upon everyone, whether or not that's with someone else. So, yeah. Another one is this, right? Making the right decision to move away from your hometown. Sometimes you have to leave the bird's nest to make your own, to set your own path, to make your own memories instead of clinging on to what feels comfortable. I think for a lot of us, it's scary to experience a new city or to move to the other side of the world, to move away from your family, especially if family is all you know. But to that, I would challenge by saying this: by leaving the bird's nest, you open up another chapter in your book of life that's full of possibilities. You start embracing new cultures, food dishes, you start wanting to try out new hobbies, and instead of just bringing yourself down to family drama that happens every other day, you start experiencing new people, communities, events. So all I'm trying to say is it's not bad to visit family every now and then, but to be born and raised and to die in the exact same hometown, all I'm trying to say is, dude, the world is so big. There's so much to see, so much to do, so much to hear, listen, and eat. I would just encourage you, like, if you are scared to leave the nest, you got to do it. Even if it's just for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, you'll never be the same person again once you get out of that comfort zone, out of that bubble, that familiarity of like knowing what to expect. Change is scary, right? But the only thing that's inevitable in life is change. If you want everything to be stable and to be the way that it always is, I hear you and I get it. But once you put yourself out there, you'll start to discover parts of you that you didn't even know you had in you. Because if you're always around the exact same people 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you'll just hear and laugh about the exact same thing, right? So, and another one right here, a hard decision that might be the right thing to do for you is letting a friend go, especially if the activities that you engage in together is not what you're all about anymore, or if they're toxic. Like, say, this group of friends you met while you were in a different phase of your life. And if you're trying to change and become a better person, it might be every step you take forward, you'll be taking 2 steps backwards, especially if it's a community that's a bad influence. Does that make sense? Because I used to think it was cliche or stupid as hell when people would say, "Oh, you will resemble the people that you spend the most time with." I'm like, no, that's not true, but it's true. If you hang around with people that are constantly breaking the law, you'll find yourself going to jail eventually. If you are hanging out around people that are negative, toxic, argumentative, and just always looking for a problem, your whole life will be dysfunctional as well. Does that make sense? Being friendless sounds scary, but it's not too bad. I myself went down this path, having a lot of friends, and then just waking up one day realizing, like, dang, dude, I'm living a life of solitude. And then it was hard. It was really hard. And then I discovered what it meant to truly enjoy my own company, not by doing destructive activities, but by learning how to love myself by doing the hard choices. And the repetition and consistency, dude, I'm so freaking happy. Now I feel like I'm in a position where if I do make friends, I'll be able to bring a lot to the table instead of just sucking energy out of the friendships. All that to say, eventually you'll find a new group of people or a community that aligns with who you're trying to be. I know cutting ties sounds cold, cruel, or even something a villain will do, but listen, if you're trying to live a life of sobriety and you're trying to be a good person, I think you have to ask yourself the question, are my friends helping me achieve that goal or are they tempting me? Do I make decisions where I'm not too proud of, right? So hopefully through those examples, you can kind of resonate with what I'm trying to say. Making the right decision is so freaking hard. And not only is it hard, more often than not, it's not you're not going to be happy afterwards, right? Reality is often disappointing. Life itself, I think it's full of a lot of setbacks, negative events, and I think Disney movies hype us up to think there's a happy ever after story for all of us, for every circumstance, situation, and relationship, but that's just not the case. Reality is often disappointing, and it's what we do afterwards, right? The right decision doesn't always come packaged with sunshine and smiles. Sometimes making the correct decision comes with tears you didn't expect. Like you would think by breaking up with the person that's been crushing your soul, you would be super delighted, but you'll find yourself crying nonstop for weeks saying, I should just go back. And I'm telling you, it's normal, but you shouldn't go back. It's normal because it's the best thing that you can do. Because we will always try to cling on to circumstances, relationships, and events that are bad for us. It's like human nature. Like we know it's bad to smoke, drink, or to stay involved in an abusive relationship, but we can't walk away because it's just addicting, right? But once you wake up one day with enough time, 6 months, 6 years down the road, you'll brave one day and realize, like, wow, I actually stopped thinking about it. I don't even want it anymore. And I realize how much more happier I am with who I am now. It takes time though. It sucks, but it's so true. Time can almost heal everything unless you dwell on something and then it always brings out the worst in you and you're crying and you have snot running down your nose. But eventually with time, because what that is through that time, through those months and years and seasons, you'll be experiencing so much, making new friends, trying new things. You'll be at a new job. You won't even look the same. You might be 300 pounds today and 150 pounds tomorrow. And then you'll wake up one day and be like, dang, dude, I am in a much better place. So even though right now it might sound scary because you're going through a season of change, just remember that sadness does not mean that you made the wrong choice. I would argue it's completely normal to feel that pain. It just means that you're human. It's a human experience that I've gone through, you'll go through, your parents, generations before you, all of us have experienced this too. Like when we make that difficult choice that we know is good for us and right for us, we'll always second guess ourselves. It's human nature. Doing what's right will rarely feel good immediately, but it always leads to a healthier future. Because the thing is, like, I know you can't see yourself not without XYZ, but if you think about your future self, like, can you see yourself being fulfilled and happy and healthy with XYZ? If you can't, then what are you doing, right? Life is so short. We're here today and gone tomorrow. Life is not guaranteed for any of us. You could die in your sleep. You can get into a car accident. I'm not trying to be too morbid or negative, but it's the reality. So if you know that, like, why waste any more time indulging in something that you know is bad for you? If you know you've been wanting to make a change, don't wait for the new year. I know it's almost December, which means 2026 is around the corner, but you got to do what's good for you. The right decision might break your heart for a moment, but the wrong one will break your life over time. Let that sink in, literally, marinate in it, and just think about it. The wrong one will disrupt and kill your life. Death by 1,000 tiny cuts. Because we think about, like, medieval knights or samurais fighting. One good slash to the torso, you're dead, right? But when you indulge in something that's bad for you, you'll be getting tiny little paper cuts all over your arms, torso, legs, to the point where eventually you'll bleed out. It doesn't happen overnight, but that life behind your eyes, like that smile, that twinkle, it'll slowly disappear one day. I'm just saying that, okay? So I want to leave on a positive note. I feel like that was a lot of negativity, like a smack of reality, but give yourself permission to feel the sadness. Don't try to mute emotions. I think that's one of the worst things that we can do, like drink to the point where you numb yourself, or to sleep around to numb the pain. Like, that's the worst thing that we can do. Like, feel the pain, sit with it, and then craft up a game plan of what are you going to do next because of this, right? Walk forward in peace. Do not dwell on the past. Leave the past in the past. And I genuinely hope that this resonated with someone out there. So, just what I wanted to talk about today. Anyways, I will talk to you guys next time. Okay? See ya.